I heard the girlies was looking for me. Well, here I go. I want to know where the girls at that need a full beat but soft glam. This is the video for you. Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Letty here, and I heard the girls were doing a full beat but make it soft glam, and I said, you know, tag me in, coach. So here we are. Now the first step to any flawless base full beat glam is to have your skincare on point. Make sure you have your moisturizer, make sure you have your correct cleanser, toner, vitamin C, whatever have you, to make you look like a glazed donut. And that's what we're gonna use. For all of the expensive products, I'm gonna have the drugstore option on the screen. If it already is drugstore, then I'm gonna continue like it is. But first we're gonna start off with primer. I'm actually gonna be using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I've really been loving this. It reminds me of the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, so I'm gonna use this as my primer. And if your foundation does, or your primer doesn't do this, then what are we doing? I'm going to go in with Color Correct. This is the Jouer High Coverage Essential Liquid Concealer in the shade Amber, and I like to use this as a color corrector than anything else because it is about the same shade as my skin but has a little bit of an orangey undertone, and I just use it in the spots that are a little darker around my face and my little mini breakouts that I'm having, which is actually hilarious. Then I go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder and translucent medium deep, and I set the areas that I set, everything except for my eyes. Now this full beat will still have layers, but it's gonna be thin layers. You want to build up that product. Then I like to spray my skin with some type of setting spray. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. I got this at a local fair from a Senegalese woman, and I love it. I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade 18. This is in the Magic Touch concealer from them. I really like this concealer. It's thick, it's full coverage, and it plays no games. Like, I will continue to purchase this product. Now I do not put this product on my forehead because I do notice that my forehead is a little bit drier than most, so we will not be doing that today. But I will go in with my Jouer, which is kind of like the same color as that, but a little bit like a smidge lighter than the Anastasia, and this is in the shade Coffee, and you see it's like a smidge. Or maybe it just has a different undertone. Now the trick to this concealer staying as thick and consistent as it is, it will be the cat's paw brush. And you start at the bottom, like the edges, and work your way down. And then as you're working your way up, you press it in, like right up under your eye, and then bring it out. That way it's like seamless. You see what I mean? Like, and then snatch it. Now I will bring up my concealer highlight duo on the forehead, but I would not place product there directly. Like, I will use whatever is on my brush to place it there, because like I said, I noticed that my forehead is a little bit drier in the center, so in order to combat that, I don't just place product there. Then for contour, I'm actually going to go in with Thread Beauty's Face It Stick complexion stick in the shade 190 Rich Brown Neutral, and this is what I'm going to use to contour. Now normally, like, I would place product on a brush, but we're doing it like this, and you want to like bring it down into like a 3. It's like a 3 on your head. And then for nose contour, I'm just going to go in with my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt shaping stick. I cannot talk today. And dark, and do my nose contour. And we're going to blend this out before we even put on foundation. Angle brush like this, and brush up basically into your concealer, and push that back into your hairline. And don't worry if it looks harsh, we're going to make that work. And for my jawline, I like to make it go down and up at the same time. For my foundation today, I'm going to go in with my tried and true Haus Labs and mix it with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter and create my own little concoction, and then spray with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray directly onto the foundation. I have this like little palette thingy, and I'm going to spray it directly on there. I'm going to take a flat kabuki brush like this, make sure it is not in the dead center of the brush, and make sure it's like evenly coated, and start around the areas first that we didn't put product, and then whatever is left on the brush, then you're gonna go over everything, like the contour and everything, whatever is left on the brush. That way you create something seamless. See how that works? You're creating an illusion, but it's so pretty. And then I'm gonna go over my nose contour with whatever is left on the brush. Look how that looks. I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty's liquid blush in the shade Love, because we're gonna do like a little brown skin girl moment. And I do place it kind of high up on the cheeks because you want that lifted flush look. I have high cheekbones anyway, so this just accentuates them. Now sometimes I do go back over with the paddle brush or the cat's paw brush that I used and make sure that line is seamless. And to get a flawless blend, I like to use my Eco Tools beauty sponge and go over my entire face. I do go in with the lightest concealer again and just touch up those spots, and I do not let it sit too long, because I find out for me, especially with Jouer, their stuff is it dries down really quickly, so you have to be quick on your feet. And if anybody knows where that's from, leave a comment below. Another trick is to, if you're older like me, you go in with a brush to make sure that the creases are not there. And then instead of my, what's the name brush, my like triangular sponge, I like to use a brush to set my under eyes with the pressed powder first, and then I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 330 Toffee. I'm going to use that to set all of my concealed areas, and I do this, I go right under and I tap it in like so. You see how flawless that is? To set the contour / bronze parts, I'm going to go in with my Juvia's Place bronze palette, and I'm going to use this top one right here. Sometimes I like to dip into the bottom one, but the top one is like the perfect bronzy shade. And I'm going to take that on the same brush I use my contour for, and just go in and set my contour. For my blush, I'm going to go in with MAC's Raisin blush and go over the blush like that. Look how beautiful that is. And then to set the rest of my skin, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier and just set the areas that I didn't before. And see how that looks? Like, oh, so flawless. And the key is to pat the excess onto your hand, on the back of your hand. So basically what you're doing is you're giving an even layer of powder and not clunking it on. And I do like to go over my eyebrows because those can get oily, so it's best to set those. And I like to go over my nose contour. I know. And then I lightly go over the rest of everything. To brighten my under eye, I do go in with One Size Ultra Peach powder, and I do this on the same method on my triangle sponge, and just brighten up that under eye area, because you want a pressed powder and then a loose powder for setting your under eye. Now my eyebrows I have to do off camera. You can go to my TikTok and see an eyebrow tutorial, but I'm going to use the Morphe Micro eyebrow pencil in the shade Java, and then I'm going to go over it with the Anastasia brow pen. To clean up my brow, I'm going to go in with the NARS soft matte concealer in the shade Amande. I'm gonna use a flat definer brush and just clean up the edge and blend it out with my finger. I did notice today that my little eyebrows started to come back, y'all. Priming my eyes with the paint pot from MAC and laying low. It's still a full beat, but make it soft glam. And I love to use this brush to evenly spread it out over my lid. I'll do a mixture of swiping and patting. You want a good eyeshadow base if you're choosing to do eyeshadow. For my eyes, I'm going to go in with my Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette. And I'm going to start off with this center color right here to do a wash over my crease. I like to place down translucent powder for any flying colors that like to not stay on your eyelid even though I tap off the excess. And you want to go like a little bit above your crease. And if you don't have a crease, go like this and then go in the right above the socket of your eye. And I do a swiping motion, and you want something that looks like that. With that same brush, I'm going to go a little bit lower and go in with this color right here, but go a little bit lower and more into that crease and then on the outer edge. Then with the darkest color and a more tapered brush, this color right here, I'm going to go in and just do the corner like that. Just deepen up a little bit and make sure when you're placing it, you're kind of doing circular motions and giving a light pressure. So the further you hold out your brush is the more light your pressure will be. And I do go back over everything with the other brush that has nothing left on it and just blend out everything. And now it's just a matter of blending. Like, you don't have to add extra product or anything like that. Just continue to blend. And then with the second to lightest color, this color right here, I'm going to put that on my lid. Like I said, I always have the one that you started off with the crease nearby. That way it can easily blend out. No extra product on that one. Just blendable abilities. Because we're going for a soft glam look, I'm actually going to go in with Morphe's Trendsetter under my eyes, which is a brown. Then with the last two deepest shade in the palette, I'm going to go and make sure that's blended out. Then with a definer brush, I'm gonna take that dark shade and really push it up against right here, like the edge of my eye. For my top lash, I'm gonna go in with the Melt Cosmetics gel liner in Spliff, which is a nice deep chocolate brown. Going in with an angled brush, we're gonna get very close to that lash line. And this is a skinny angled brush by MAC. I do start in the middle and then work my way over and then thicken out at the end. I'm not doing a wing, just a quick to do. You know what I'm saying? So as y'all can see, I had a little mishap with my doggone contacts. So the trick to making sure it doesn't ruin the makeup that you just did, let it dry and then go in and correct it. Because if you correct it while it's wet or try to remove anything, you're gonna have a hell of a time. You wanna go take off all your makeup. So let it dry and continue with the rest of your makeup. For my highlighting of my brow, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here and highlight my brow. I just love this palette. It's so versatile for a soft glam. And I like to wipe away everything, catch my fallout and everything with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deep. And I just take a brush like this, wash this away first, and then come back with that MAC and just do the rest of my skin. Before I put on any type of highlighter or mascara, I do like to spray my skin again, and I go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. This will melt everything together. Before it dries down completely, I do like to go in with my highlighter, and this is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlighter Duo in Afternoon Snack and Mo Honey, and I just rub it on both of them. See how that, ooh, girl. We are going to use this for our inner corner highlight, and I'm going to use both of them like that. Just gives the perfect, like, ooh. Going to go in with my Milk Makeup Kush mascara. I love, love, love this mascara. For my lashes, I'm going to go in with the House of Lashes, in Iconics. And they're the perfect like flare And they're inexpensive too. They're like 12 bucks for faux synthetic mink lashes. While those are good and tacky, I'm gonna go in with that same Morphe Trendsetter pencil. It's a color pencil, so it can be used as a lip liner, eyeliner, whatever you want. And I'm just gonna line my lip. Then go in with Juvia's Place Libra lipstick. Then in the center, I'm gonna go in with Juvia's Place Cookie Butter lip gloss. In order to put on your lashes perfectly, you want to take a mirror. I have a broken one, but you want to take a mirror and look down into it. And while you're looking down into it, you want to come on top of your lash and then place it right in the center. I start center, out, in. And the best tool to put on lashes would be this little situation right here, because it's angled and curved. Japanese has a really good one. I'm not sure. Oh, this is just the regular Ulta brand, and it's so easy to put on everything. Then I'm going to spray my skin with the One Size Until Dawn, and I'll be back with the whole completed thing. This is the final look. I love me a good soft glam. It's something quick and simple if you're doing the one layer method. Actually, if you're doing any method, it's just quick and simple. Accentuates your eyes, accentuates your face, it compliments you. I would say try this. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Let me know if you try this. Let me know if you will be trying this. You know what I'm saying? Because your girl look cute. And I want to say one last thing before I get off of here. You match your foundation to your body. Not your neck, because your neck and your face can be darker than the rest of your body. Match it to your chest, and if you need to, bring it down your neck. And with that being said, it's your girl Letty, and I'm out. Peace.